happy Wednesday. So good to see you today. Welcome to another edition of Networking Know How, where I give you a tip to help you network more stress free, like we do in our Down and Dirty networking online community. We are 100% relational. We have no fluff. We are cutting the fluff of traditional networking. And our focus here is 100% relational. So if you're looking to have more meaningful connections and conversations, this is the show for you. We actually might be the community for you, but our goal every Wednesday afternoon, sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, is to go live, sometimes with an interview. But today I'm bringing you a really cool tip. It is actually a little known tip to help you connect more meaningfully via social media. So virtually, there's a lot of ways that you can connect, but it feels very transactional. It feels kind of smarmy. And if you're an introvert or you feel a little bit awkward, this may not be a space where you've automatically thought you could have meaningful connections. So I'm going to share a really cool tip that you can start using today to increase your meaningfulness online. Now, if we have not yet met, I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. And I've already kind of mentioned a little bit about who we are, what we do, but I want to know about you. So get up in chat. Let me know where you're watching. Let me just say hi. And even if you're watching on replay, let me know, because I do go back and respond to every single comment. So thank you so much. No matter what platform you're watching on, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, I do respond to all of our messages because you matter. And I want to have a conversation with you, because that's the whole point of relational networking. So let's dig into that, and then that kind of sets up our talk and our topic for today. So let's describe the difference in the types of networking that actually exist. Typical networking, traditional networking, is sometimes called transactional networking because it's about exchanging leads, business, clients, referrals, or maybe even job offers. But the idea is it's an exchange of information, and it's very transactional in nature. And you're probably exchanging business cards, exchanging contact information, and then doing some kind of a follow up. But it typically is more of a one-way conversation where you're making an ask, looking for something very specific. So it's kind of like, hi, my name is, buy my stuff, hire me, promote me type of thing. That's more of what we have as a default setting of networking. But I have come to really realize there's a second way of networking that I've defined as relational networking. And it is what we are founded on here at Down and Dirty Networking. And relational networking is about having meaningful conversations to learn from and about someone to build lasting and authentic relationships. There are no sales pitches, there are no 30-second commercials. And when done effectively, there isn't an introduction either. It is about getting right into a conversation and, dare I say, treating everybody like they are instantly your best friend. This works whether you're online, like we are in our community, where you have a global reach. It also works when you are in person. Relational networking is an absolute game changer. Now, I believe there are three ways that you can look at networking. Networking is a activity, a skill set, and a mindset. It is the mindset of networking that I have seen for many years has been missing. You can learn the skill set of how to work a room, or if you're doing traditional networking, how to do an elevator pitch, or even in our space, the skill of relational networking. But the skill of relational networking really isn't a skill. And it leads into the third thing, which is a mindset. If your mindset is to build relationships, it doesn't matter what type of networking event you are at, you are going to have increased results. You're going to have more meaningful conversations, and it will raise your vibrational energy, and you won't be going, ugh, every time you think about networking. Typically, people have a mindset of, what can I get from you? If you cannot give me a lead, a sale, or a referral, then they move on to the next person. And it doesn't matter the greatest of events. If you have that mindset, you are going to feel that networking doesn't work for you. And you're going to be really disappointed. And I promise you, if you have that mindset and you come to Down and Dirty Networking, you will be super, super disappointed because that's not what we do here. And so you need to really shift. If I could give you your first bonus tip, is to shift your mindset into relational networking. And it's more of this mindset that you adopt as a holistic approach, where it's really an attitude that you have 24/7. It's something you not just do, but you become. And so relational networking is truly a mindset that you carry with you 24/7 every day of the week. And it can be something you do with coworkers, vendors, it can be with your clients, it can be with someone that you see at the grocery store. It's really remarkable what happens when you shift the mindset. And that is what leads into our topic for today. Oh, I see some people watching live. Thank you so much for joining today. Really appreciate you. Okay, so let's talk about it. The little known social media tip that will absolutely help you start connecting in a more meaningful way. It's simple. Engage thoughtfully and consistently on social media. That's it. It's really, really super simple. I am all about stupid, simple solutions. This one is stupid, simple, but it is intentional. So think about the people that you want to have more in your world, that you want in your network, that you really connect with vibrationally. I feel like it is important that you define the type of person you want in your sphere, in your energy, because people can either drain your vibrational energy or they can add to your vibrational energy. It's very different than thinking, okay, who can buy my stuff? That's a transactional mindset. But a relational mindset, who really feeds your vibrational energy and who you could really see building a relationship with. Those are the people you want to connect with on a consistent basis and in a meaningful way. And so once you've got these people, maybe you're seeing them put out some really great content. What you want to do is make sure you're engaging with that content consistently. So let me give you an example. There was someone that I had met in the mastermind that I'm in, and I really love the content. I love the things that he shared. I really appreciate what he was doing, and vibrationally, it matched. So I was constantly liking his comment, but liking isn't being thoughtful. Yes, I would like it, but I would always comment thoughtfully. I would watch or read or whatever the content was, and I would thoughtfully add 2 cents. And it's more than 2 words, not agreed or some meme, something thoughtful that I would add to it. That's the difference. If you want to have meaningful connections, you have to be meaningful in how you deliver to those people, how you nurture them. What you give is what you get. And that's where you get that reciprocity. That's where it's a two-way conversation. That is by far the foundation of relational networking. So I was very consistent in the way that I was meaningful on his posts. And every now and again, a post would really resonate with me and I would share it. But I was consistent in the things that I did see that I would like and comment. Now, I wasn't doing it necessarily on every post because I didn't see every post, but the ones that I did see, or when I would pause and I would take 5 minutes out of my day and I had a list of people I really wanted to connect with, I would make sure I'd go find them on social and I would connect and comment on their content in a meaningful way. So when I was finally at an event, this person came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I just had to meet you, the person that is consistently liking and commenting. It really means the world to me that you do that." In that moment, I could really sense that I had really high reputational capital with him. We had a wonderful conversation, and I have since continued to be very meaningful. And he says, "You know what, Laura, I need to really pay this back to you and be meaningful on your conversation and on your content as well." Now, I didn't do it for the reciprocity, but I did it so that I can connect and nurture in an online way. And the beautiful thing about it is it doesn't take a lot of time or energy to do this. It's a lot less time consuming and far more effective than even doing maybe a one-to-one coffee after an event where you're spending a lot of time and energy, maybe getting on Zoom chats or physically meeting people for a coffee. So in this space, this is just a really easy way to stay in contact with somebody. Early on, someone had clicked that they wanted to attend a Down and Dirty networking event. I saw their name. It was intriguing to me. And I started looking at their content. I was like, wow, this person, really puts out great content. I really resonate with what they're doing. I need to know this person. And I became very consistent doing exactly what I'm suggesting you do. I was very consistent and thoughtful with everything that I engaged with. I was always on their live, I would comment, and I was very active and engaged, and I really paid attention. And I wanted to see where I could learn something from them, because that's the part of relational networking, learn something from them and about them, but also where could I provide some value and support. And over time, this person really appreciated and said, "You know what, let's have a Zoom chat." We did. And I'll skip to the end for you, but we've become part of each other's inner circle. And I really love and adore this person very, very much. And it's all started doing exactly what I'm telling you to do things in a very meaningful and consistent way. So Think about your number one social media platform that you want to be known for. You don't have to do it across all your platforms, but you can pick one. And if you're an overachiever and you got energy to spare, then maybe pick a second platform. For me, and for Down and Dirty Networking, our primary platform is LinkedIn. And so I will always look on LinkedIn where I can consume content. The secondary platform would be Facebook and kind of tied with YouTube. So I will look on Facebook for those that I'm connected that way. You might have different platforms that you prefer to use. Whatever it is for you, there's no wrong answer. Just pick that, but be consistent with that and connect with those that really resonate, either people you want to meet or people that you're like, you know what, I have not heard what's going on with them. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can actually approach this, because one of the things that I find is people say, well, this sounds good, Laura, but I don't have time. I don't have the time to do it. So, one of the ways that you could do this is just schedule 5 minutes once a week. If you want to be a little bit more ambitious, maybe 3 times a week. But just schedule it on your calendar, jump into your platform. So if I had my 5 minute time, I would jump into LinkedIn and I would have my list of people. It could just be on a post it note and I wouldn't get stuck in the scroll, and I go find those people's profiles, see what they're doing recently, and then comment on their content. And so that would be what my advice. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to allocate time per platform. So you could say, okay, I'm going to allocate 15 minutes every on the beginning of every day, and I'm going to spend 10 of those minutes searching and scrolling and just seeing what's going on. And then I'm going to spend 5 of those minutes actually being intentional with some of the people I need to connect. Or you can flip it on its head. You can do 5 minutes of scroll and 10 minutes of intentionality, whatever's easier for you. The key is not to be so hard fast on what the plan is, but that you're consistent with it. That's the key. That's the trick, if there is one. And the secret that most people don't know is everybody needs social media love. If you are a content producer, if you own a company page, you're producing content. You really don't want crickets chirping with no one reading it and no one hearing any value of it. And so when someone comes in and says, Laura, that was really good, or hey, Down and Dirty Networking, we like this newsletter article, or we love this article that just dropped, we really appreciate this, and they make a comment on this, or they tag a friend on it, it's like, oh, yay, something we did resonated. It's the highest form of a compliment when someone engages in a thoughtful way with our content. And guess what? We remember their name and their reputational capital goes through the roof. This is how you build meaningful connections. And it really matters. There's a couple of people that I'm connected to right now. We haven't met, but what we are doing is being very consistent in the way that we're interacting with each other's content. And I can't wait for us to actually meet, whether it be on Zoom or in person at some point. But right now, I'm having a wonderful dialogue between their content and some of the things they privately message me about to expand the conversation offline. And we talked a little bit about the power of private messages and DMs in the last week video. So if you want to go back and watch that, you can kind of see where these two strategies put together are incredibly powerful. They're not time consuming, so long as you're very intentional and purposeful. All right. So I see some more people watching live. Let me know in the chat if this resonates with you. If you're like, Laura, I hear this, but I really don't believe it. Let me know what your experience is. But what I challenge you is, whether you've done it or you haven't. Now, those of you who have, please add your 2 cents. Would love to hear it. But those of you who haven't, I would challenge you for the next 5 days to be intentional and just see how it feels. See what you can learn from somebody. Adopt that relational networking mindset and said, I want to learn from and about somebody by consuming their content and being meaningful about it. What you're going to find when you are intentionally connecting with those that raise your vibrational energy is that when you consume their content, whether you're watching it or reading it or listening to it, or maybe you're attending a live like those watching now, you're going to find that your vibrational energy goes up too. Because if someone is having a high vibrational energy day, it generally raises the people that are around them as well. And so that's why I'm very intentional about making sure I have heart-centered people that have high vibrational energy or have a desire for high vibrational energy to always be in our sphere of influence. It's one of the greatest things about our Down and Dirty Networking community is how purposeful the members are about being connected. We have 3 C's that we say: co-elevate, collaborate, and connect. And if you're heart centered and relational networking minded, that is amazing. We had our member event earlier today, and I won't spoil a lot of that because I'm going to talk about it next week a little bit more. But we had the topic of discussion for today was really, really good. And there was some big ahas and some clarity that I feel we're going to talk about next week with regards to the power of collaboration in a very different way, and why it's really important to have a relational networking mindset and what that can actually do for your career or business, no matter what your industry is. So, if you want to get ready for next week, I hope you accept this challenge and start to connect very intentionally with people in your social media platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, who on YouTube could you connect with? If you're watching on LinkedIn or on Facebook, who could you connect with? This is something that you're going to want to really be intentional about versus just the mind numbing scrolling, which is no different than the mind numbing networking going, through people when you're actually pitching people and listening to pitches. It is so much more effective when you are intentional, purposeful, and you adopt a relational networking mindset. That's the game changer. And then you engage consistently and thoughtfully on people's social media content. You're going to be a rock star with them. Your reputational capital will go through the roof, and you have no idea of the opportunities that could really occur. I'm actually talking to somebody that I just connected with recently, and we just really vibe. We have a lot of the same overlap and interests, and we're kind of thinking of different ways that we can work together and collaborate. There's zero exchange, zero transaction. And it was because, and she said this because she really liked my vibrational energy. And two, she liked the approach that I had about getting to learn from and about people. I wasn't in it to get something from her. I wasn't in it to buy something or sell something to her. I wanted to get to know her, and I was being very authentic about it and very genuine and caring about her. So, hopefully, you've watched some of our past videos. We've touched on some of these topics about being authentic and genuine, getting up into someone's DMs, and really focusing on the conversation. And doing this through social media is a great way for you to be able to do that by being intentional in their content and their comments, and they will absolutely love it. Now, if this has been helpful, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up or post a comment. Give us some social media love, no matter where you're watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And if you would like to know more tips and tricks on how to network more effectively, regardless of what your networking focus is, we definitely lean with those tips from a relational networking mindset. You can go to the Down and Dirty Networking YouTube channel, and you'll see curated playlists there. Stay tuned every Wednesday afternoon because I go live, sometimes with myself, sometimes I have a guest, and we've got some guests coming up in the future weeks where we talk about topics like this, where you can network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty Networking online community. And that's every Wednesday afternoon, sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for networking know-how. And then make sure to check out the Down and Dirty Networking Facebook and LinkedIn pages, because we have our Networking Boost newsletter, we have articles, we have different tips that we produce all throughout the week to really help you network really stress-free, raise your vibrational energy, and make sure you're doing things in a more meaningful way. And even if you're working with coworkers, just so that you know, this works too. The more that you can connect on a deeper level with those that you work with, regardless of whether they're sitting next to you or they're in another office and you're in a remote situation, the more connected you are, it is the antidote to loneliness. And so we will help you get more connected with some of these tips if you tune into the Down and Dirty Networking pages. And then stay tuned. Every now and again, we do a public event, and one's coming up in just less than a month, or just over a month, actually. And we'll be talking more about that in future lives. And you can attend because it is open to the public. We only have a handful of these available per year. Every other member event is members only, which is what we had today, and it was amazing. So if you're curious and you'd like to know more about our public event, if you'd like to attend, stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking more about that and letting you know what it's about and how you can attend our next public event. All right. Again, hope this was helpful. Tag a friend, give a thumbs up, check out the other content, and stay tuned for next week. Hopefully, I'll see you sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for another edition of Networking Know-How, where we help you network more stress-free like we do here in Down and Dirty Networking. So thanks for watching live. Thanks for watching on replay. And until next week, happy networking.